What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this. Jury selection is underway as P. Diddy turns down a plea deal just before going into his trial. So he was offered a plea deal. He turned down the plea deal and decided he'd take his chances going to trial for 5 counts of federal charges. He had 1 count of racketeering, which carries a maximum of 20 years, depending on his murder involved, to life. He had 2 counts of sex trafficking, which carries a minimum of 10 years apiece. He have 2 other counts of transportation, which carries the maximum of 10 years apiece. Now, if y'all looking on the screen, you like, who is this man right here? Y'all know who that is. That's Puffy. But then you may say, well, who is this guy right here? That's Puffy. Hold on. What the hell's going on? They don't look like the same person, right? This the real Puffy y'all thought was the real Puffy. But this really the real Puffy right here. This the real Puffy. See, this the Puffy on the streets with the money. This Puffy without the money. That's the real Puffy. See, this Puffy can change himself up. See? This Puffy can change himself up. See, he's 54 years old right here. But this what the money make him look. See, the money could take all this away. See, the money took all that away. But him locked up without access to the money, he don't look like that. This the real Puffy. This the one who nobody will let touch. This the one, he wouldn't have a case if he was the real Puffy. He wouldn't have a damn sex charge on him if he walked around as, see, this Sean, this Puffy, this is P. Diddy, this Sean Combs. See, they was letting P. Diddy have sex. They wouldn't give Sean Combs none. They didn't give Sean Combs. Sean Combs couldn't even get in the damn club. Sean Combs get racial profiles. So they wouldn't give him none. He couldn't come to the damn sex parties. He couldn't come to the freak offs. But Diddy could. But Diddy could. So this who you got with the money. This who you got without the money. So with that being said, yeah, that's him. See, look, with the money, see how he took care of all that? He died all that. See, he ain't got access to the money. So he got to come to court as he is. As he really is. And this is who he really is. See, he like to change his look right here. See, this take off 20 years. See, the money take off 20 years. See that? See the difference? Look like his damn grandfather. And that's both him at the age of 54. This both of him at the age of 54. The one with the money, knock off 20 years. The one without access to the money, add 20 damn, well, yeah, add more years. Okay. He don't look 54 right there. He looks 78. Well, he was given a plea deal. They offered him a plea deal. That was their last deal to offer him. If he turned down the deal, he would have to face risking it all in trial to do life in prison. Makes you wonder, huh? Just how many years did they offer him to make him say no to everything he know he guilty of? Just how much time did they really offer this brother? Apparently, they offered him a lot of time. Had to, for him to say no and risk going to prison for life. Now, you may say, well, he's scared to go to prison. He wouldn't last in prison. If you can survive the county, you can survive prison. In fact, county time is harder than prison time. That's why so many people who actually end up going to the county, if you're there too long, they take plea deals because they want to move around in the prison. See, in the prison, you have more freedom. You have more access. You get visits. You get more phone calls. You get to walk around. You get to go to game rooms. You get to go to chapels. And here's another thing. The people who you with in the county, it's the same people who's going to be in prison with you. So the people who you in the county with, it's the same people you're going to be in prison with. So him going to prison would be better. Well, than doing all his time in the county. So again, just how many years did they offer him then? For him to turn it down to risk going to trial, being found guilty, and having to spend life in prison. Well, let's look at these charges. Racketeering, carry a maximum of 20 years. Trafficking, sex trafficking, starts out 10 years. He got 2 counts of those. So it starts out minimum 10 years for those 2. Then you have transportation, federal transportation, cross state lines and things like that. That's minimum. I mean, that's maximum. He got 2 of those. That's a maximum of 10 years apiece for 2 of those. So in the transportation, the maximum he can get is 10 years, and he got 2 of those. For sex trafficking, the minimum is 10 years starting with. He got 2 of those, minimum. That means the least they can give him is 10 years for each one if found guilty. Then you have the racketeering, which is a maximum of 20 years. So let's look at what's mandatory. So the sex trafficking is the worst one because the minimum is 10 years, and he got 2 of those. So the minimum they can give him, the least they can give him is 10 years. He got 2 of those. So let's just say they gave him the least. He was found guilty on that. That's 20 years alone, and that account alone. That's 20 years minimum. Let's say he got found guilty on the transportation. That's maximum 10 years. So the max, they'll give him 10 years. And I doubt if they'll give him maximum for his first offense on this if he found guilty on it. So we're looking like somewhere in between the middle, which is another 10 years. If you're looking at them both being maximum 10 years, something in the middle, that's 10 years. So that's 30 years. If they talking about giving him minimum, that's 30 years. Then you add on the racketeering. That's anywhere between 5 to 20 years. So let's just keep it real. They'll meet somewhere. That's like 40 years. So you're looking at 40 years. But think about this. He's 54 years old. He's 54 years old. That brings him to 94. So what type of plea deal would they have to offer him? Half that, 20 years. Then he figured like, hell, 20 years is just like life in prison because I'm already 54. I'm already 54. You know what? I'm just going to take my chances going to trial. If I'm found guilty, I could at least appeal it. And I got all these high-powered lawyers. Hopefully we can get some of this stuff knocked down. Hopefully I can give some time back. Same thing Unbiased doing. For those of y'all who don't know who Christopher Unbiased is, who just see the Puffy thing, he a guy in the community of battle rap. He raped 4 women. He got 7 felony rape charges on him, and he assaulted 4 other women he wasn't charged with. He got his lawyers them keeping him out on bond for the most part with all these motions of paperwork because he afraid of going to prison. And he hoping that during all this time, some technicality or some seam of frustration, or maybe one of the victims die or get hurt bad or catch a case, well, it can help his situation. So Puffy figured, you know, I can't do 20 years on y'all plea deal. I'm already 54. That brings me to 74, 75 years old. The life expectancy for a man anyway is 65 to 70 years anyway. So I'm good as dead anyway. So I might as well take my chances in court while I got people working on the outside on my behalf. Hopefully we can reach one of these jurors. Hopefully we can reach one of these witnesses for not telling and do something. Do something. But I just can't agree to 20 years right now off the bat. No matter how frustrating it is. No matter how much this damn face of y'all I fooled y'all with don't work in court when it comes to shine. Now, think about this. A lot of people who do these things and dealing in these charges, and you seeing what's happening in the music industry, how it's all just falling apart. If you're not getting indicted, you get murdered and killed. If you're not getting indicted or murdered or killed, you're going bankrupt. And you're getting plagued with all type of sexual diseases. So this hip-hop world, this music industry, this industry of entertainment is nothing but Satan's playground. And all these brothers and sisters suffering in it. It's hard for you to feel sorry for them because they agree to this lifestyle. They sign up for these things. So it's hard for you to feel sorry for them. The thing that's damaging to Puffy in this situation that may hurt him bad is when they bring the video of him beating her in the hotel and she trying to flee from him. And he's stomping her and dragging her back and throwing a vase at her head. Only for then, after the footage was released, he make this statement. And I believe this hurts him bad. This will be one of the most crucial, damaging parts in the case that I believe personally is going to hurt him as a means of this.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Okay, look what he said. My behavior on that video was inexcusable. He's confessing and admitting to what he did. And he also talks about his history of being dark. I had a dark history. I was effed up in the head. I was going through a lot of things. Well, when you look at the charges that's against him, that's stemming back all the way to those times, what that does now, that confessions agree with everything he's being charged with, by which he is now standing trial. And here's an open confession that he publicly put out that can be used against him because it's public knowledge. It's not something that was privately recorded, secretly recorded, released without his knowledge. This was something that he voluntarily released, admitting to the actions and crimes he did to one of the victims, by which he is now being charged with, by which also leads to the same time and when all these charges were coming out against him, and he condemns himself with his own confession.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry.
Okay. See that? That's going to be used. That has already been admitted in the courts as evidence. How do you get around your own confession? When nobody forcing you to do it, you did this on your own recognizance. How do you get around that? You gave yourself the death blow in the end, and you taking the risk to go to trial on here. Here's another thing gonna hurt him that people not dumb and that people not stupid of. He's not going to take the stand. And everybody know that when you don't take the stand, that's a sign of guilt in itself. Now, you always innocent to proven guilty, and anything can happen in court. We've seen countless times where in a Young Thug situation, in the Lil Durk situation before he got this charge, how the state could be so obsessively wanting to get you that they overdo the process, that it becomes tacky and they do things wrong, and people end up getting off as a result of that. But these are not state charges. This is federal, where they more professional, they more locked in, and they have a success rate of like what, 98% conviction rate. So when they got you for the most part. So this ain't like the state things and the Young Thug and them things. This is entirely different. So I don't believe they're going to be tacky and mess this up. Just like in the O.J. Simpson them case, those were state charges where the state get messy. Federal is on a whole nother level. They way more locked in, more professional. There's a lot of seats in politics involved. A lot of seats in politics involved. And a person slipping up, messing it up, you will lose your seat. And careers are built on cases like this. And they put the right people on the cases pertaining to the cases by which they believe they get the conviction. And people always be talking about, oh man, they got money, they got money. You got money. Money don't mean nothing to the people that make the money. The feds make the money. What is money to them? They don't care about no money. That man Puffy offered them $50 million just to get a bond. They turned him down. They turned him down. They don't care about no money. But see, that'd be that nigga talk. That'd be that street and hood talk. Oh, he got money. He got that money. That money gonna get him off. No, that money don't get you off. Money ain't get John Gotti them off, did it? He was making over $500 million a year, they were saying. Money didn't get Epstein off, did it? Money ain't get Martha Stewart them off, did it? Hell no. When the feds come, they come. They make the money. Politics, that's the power. seats and positions. That's the power. So while he turned down 20 years, he now face life in prison. Playing with God. All that playing with God, all that mocking God, all that bad history. Like a lot of these people, they get that money, they get the sense of security that because they got money, they untouchable. They put this blanket around them that they believe no one could unveil and snatch off them. And they get confident in their access and finances to the point where they believe they superior over others, even to the point of rejecting God, which always leads to the devil having more power. So brothers and sisters, learn from these situations. Learn from these people. Don't follow in their footsteps. You want to be in the industry, you want to become something, don't sell your soul out. Don't sell your soul out to the devil. Look at what it's doing. Look at what it's doing. And it always hurts us the most. We get hit the hardest and we get hit the most. But you can't blame nobody when you volunteering to play the game. You can't. With that being said, it's your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment lesson question, it's yours. Puffy turned down a 20-year plea deal and taking chances going to trial, where if found guilty, he will face life in prison. He definitely fighting an uphill battle.
Bustin' no streets for you, so leave me waiting on you. Bustin' no streets for you, so leave me waiting on you. Bustin' no streets